Denali, I think I'd like to start with you. In your Meet the Queens video intro, you sort of said that sometimes you get criticized for maybe being a little style over substance, and that's something that really sort of irks you. Was that a specific motivation for you coming into the season to prove the people that say that wrong?
Definitely. I mean, I always pride myself in being a stylish queen or things like that, but I wanted to definitely prove that I have the whole package and that I'm here to deliver that on season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So yeah, no, I'm very much here to prove that point.
Yeah.
Denali, can you tell us a little bit about this look just before we move on? This is like incredible.
Yeah, this is from a local Chicago designer named Etta Birthing. They make the most incredible, almost like amoebic shaped silhouette. Today I'm serving you very like yellow alien frog jacket moment, and I just love their work, so I'm honored to wear that.
Girl, you are dressed as the coronavirus, and I'm livid.
She looks like a rare moth, I feel like a chic moth.
You almost look like a Beanie Baby. Like you look like something.
That. Yeah. I can be your Beanie Baby.
I love it.
Yes. See, that's substance right there. That's substance, babe. She can be your Beanie Baby.
Yes. People wrong already.
Tamisha, I'd love to move on to you if that's okay. In your Get to Know the Queens intro, you talked a little bit about your age being a little bit older than the rest of these girlinas. I'm curious what it was like to walk into the workroom with all these girls who are Instagram influencers, social media drag queens. It's a different business. Did you feel any kind of intimidation at all, or what was that like?
Not at all. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm great at what I do. Yeah. So I mean, it was just a actual plethora of greatness coming together. I mean, like, they're the new generation, I'm the old generation, but we all are great. So why would I be the diva I am and walking into a situation afraid? Never.
Period. The diva she is.
Rosé, I would love to ask you, I know that you are friends with Jan, who we love. I'm curious if going into the season, you got any advice from your friend? And also a second part of that question, what was it like watching Jan on the show? And be honest, was it at all sort of a little difficult to see your friend on the show?
You know what? Jan gave me a lot of really, really great advice, but I think that nothing prepared me for a drag race better than actually watching my best friend go through it right before I did. I really thought that Jan was going to go there and potentially win. And we worked so hard on her stuff, and she's so fucking talented. And it just, the cards just weren't dealt in her favor in that regard. On her season, and just seeing that play out and being so close to her and kind of getting like the inside scoop, that's the best kind of training I think I received. But it did also make me really weary and kind of afraid at times because I didn't know if regardless of my skills and intentions, if the same thing might happen to me. So it's interesting having your best friend do it right before you do it.
Wow. I can imagine. It must be such a trip to see someone that you love go through something and then be put right into it yourself. Mm-hmm. Just to open it up a little bit more, I'd love to hear about how each of you feels that your drag has matured or changed through being on RuPaul's Drag Race, and maybe even, being influenced by each other and working together with the other queens that you met.
I mean, for me, I come from the Chicago scene where, there's such diversity here, and I come from the club scene too, so a lot of my drag is influenced by performance drag and what's on stage and what's under spotlights and how accessible my hands are so I can grab tips and things like that. Everything that's just for performance stage, so getting to be exposed to, legends like Tamisha and New York songstresses like Rosé and people that just came in with so many different talents and things that they brought. It was really, I also took it as an opportunity to soak everything in And even in just the short time that we've had it away from the show, I feel like my drag has evolved so much because of that exposure, and I'm eternally grateful for sure.
Yeah, my drag has definitely evolved since we filmed the show. You know, being criticized by the judges and people that you admire and have adored for so long, seeing what works and what doesn't, really, I think influences your style and the way you approach like looks and presentation. So I learned a lot just from my fellow competitors, and I already see and feel a difference in my aesthetic, like here and there. But yeah, I mean, the biggest change for me is that, you know, in the face of a really difficult and challenging experience, I realized that I am much stronger than I gave myself credit for, and that now feeds into everything I do, which is drag, because drag is literally all I do all day long.
I'm just seeing, Rosé, you're sort of serving me like Judge on The Voice vibes with this sort of like big red chair behind you. It's almost like Gwen Stefani. Like it's amazing.
So fucking hysterical. It's literally seamless, and it totally does look like
yeah, just hit the buzzer. That's so funny. You, Rosé, you know, you just brought up what a difficult experience it was, and I'm sure it was nuts every year for everybody on the show, but of course, specifically this year because of the circumstances that the show was forced to film under. Tamisha, if we can start with you, what was the experience of filming the show like? Because, you know, we talk to drag queens a lot, and it seems like an intense experience all the time. But this season especially, given COVID, given the state of the world, how extra challenging do you think it was to film this year?
It was crazy, being honest, because well, first of all, you don't know what to expect. That's number one. So for us, it still was our first time, so it was an experience within itself. But far as just getting ready and getting there, and I thought it was Hollywood. I just thought that's how Hollywood operate. You know, you move slow, and it's like a lot of hurry up and wait. You understand? So, but nevertheless, it was a very rewarding experience because the staff made sure that you felt that you were number one, that your health was priority number one, your safety was priority number one. So, you know, you really had time to focus on the reason why you were there, because they had everything else dealing with health and protection, you know, secured for you.
Yeah. Yeah, Denali, what was it like for you?
I totally agree. Actually, filming Drag Race was some of the safest moments I felt all year because we were, you know, the reality television programming and the way that it functions is already kind of in a bubble and it's very isolated. So I felt very safe, and it was nice because I agree with Tamisha. You got to just kind of focus on the competition and focus on what you were doing.
Right.
You know, it was a lot. It was a lot, and our noses were very sore by the end of it from constant tests and things like that. You know, my brain was scrambled in multiple ways. So there's that part of it. But again, shout out to all of production for keeping us safe and for keeping us under control. It was really difficult. And RuPaul's Drag Race was one of the first television programs, I think, to resume filming in Los Angeles. So it was an honor to be able to do that and to be able to do it safely.
Yeah, for sure.
Ladies, I'm really curious, in a similar vein to that last question, you know, I think in recent months and in recent years, we've been able to see drag queens as leaders in the queer community, and especially as activists in the queer community. And I think this summer, and certainly while RuPaul's Drag Race was filming, we saw a rise up in leadership and queer leadership. And I'm curious, you know, what was it like to be kind of in that quarantine bubble while your communities, everybody around you, was protesting and, you know, trying to create meaningful change? I imagine it would be kind of hard to see everybody, like, FOMO doesn't seem like a great word, but, you know, like seeing everybody going out and doing that, and having to miss out on that, and having to not be the leader that I think drag queens often are. How was that during filming?
Well, for me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Well, for me, I've always been an activist in my community. I'm always challenging status quo. And it was amazing to see that the community finally had a voice. You know, every community has that one or two people that speaks up and speaks out. But to see that the entire community had a voice and it was all positive, that was amazing. You know, we couldn't do anything, but it still made me proud to look and see Atlanta, as well as Chicago, as well as New York, you know, joining forces together and standing firmly, you know, behind their cause. That was amazing.
Totally. I think, you know, I always say that drag is political by nature, and drag is, you know, a form of activism in itself. And it was so inspiring and amazing to see so many queer people and drag artists really like lead during, you know, all of the protests that happened this year. I will say it was really difficult getting the call and having to turn into myself for a little bit, because, you know, if you get the call for Drag Race, you don't have that long to prepare and you have to take advantage of every moment. So it was kind of a strange thing to accept and to navigate. But at the end of the day, you know, in order for me to help and lead like millions of people, I have to take advantage of the opportunity that allows me to connect with them. So right. Yeah, but I mean, I'm very proud to be a part of the queer community, and I'm thrilled with, you know, the moves that we've begun to make this year to start shaping a better future.
Absolutely. For me and my community, it was super motivating because we really had quite a makeover here in Chicago with just the leaders and people being really active in speaking up and lifting up, especially Black lives and Black drag queens here in the city. It had been a long time coming, and it was just really important, and I'm really proud of us as a city for doing so. So when I got the call, and as that was going on, I felt even more motivated to try and do my very best for my city so that I could rep them. And, you know, I was just really proud of them. So I wanted to give back, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, just being on the show is in and of itself. Oh no, we lost our voice judge.
I'm here.
There we go. Just being on the show in and of itself is an act of activism, sort of like Sam was saying. I'm curious how you guys have seen over the course of the past calendar year, you know, 2020 being the hellscape it has been. The world is different in so many ways. Are you at all concerned about the future of drag in its former form? When I say that, I mean, you know, bars and nightlife and all of this stuff that right now has gone away, and so many bars have closed and theaters have closed. You know, we've seen drag queens adapt. I mean, Sam and I have been so impressed with how quickly drag queens have been, you know what, we can't go to the club, we're going to do it online, we're going to do an Instagram live, we're going to do a drive-through show, whatever it is. Do you worry though about the art form, what it used to be before COVID and what it might be moving forward?
Yes.
I mean, I'm curious, in what ways?
Well, for me personally, again, I come from the club scene. My drag is curated for a live audience and for live performance. So it was really hard for me this year to figure out how to kind of adapt to that. The relationship with an audience as a human being, as an ice skater, as a performer, as a drag queen is vital. It's not even like so important. It is my life force. It is everything to me. So to not have that all year and to kind of be out of practice with that kind of relationship and that entity for a very long time, it was so difficult. I found myself really questioning a lot of different things and passions for things, and then to suddenly be thrusted into the most high stimulus kind of crazy drag experience that anyone can have, it was really, really difficult and really mentally taxing. But it was almost like a recharge, I think, and it really gave me another surge of love for it. But truly, I am very worried. I'm really worried for the future of it all, because all that I've wanted to do in my career is meet fans across the world, perform on different stages, fill a club of queer people with nothing but joy and freedom in those few minutes that I'm, you know, backflipping to Deborah Cox on stage. Like, that's all I want to do. So I am really worried, and I really hope that Miss Pfizer and Miss Moderna can help us get right back to where we need to because that's where I personally belong, and that's where I want to be in 2021.
Sure. What about you, Tamisha? How do you feel?
Well, I needed the break. I'm gonna be honest. I fell out of love with drag for a long time. And the pandemic allowed me to do some research for myself. Now, as far as the future, I'm excited because, in Atlanta, I didn't have the sisterhood that I've developed over, the last few months with the girls. And they are excited about the road and, taking on the challenge of trying to make a not so normal world return to its normalcy. And I'm thrilled to be a part of that with them. No one knows what Tamisha can do. Everybody knows that she's just the motherly figure. They don't know I'm a beast on those floors in that show. They don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So they're exciting me to want to actually get back out and do whatever we need to do to make the world know that, hey, our drag is the drag that you want to see. So I'm excited about the future.
What about you, Rosé?
I'm not worried. Like you both have said, I'm so impressed with the fact that we have proven this year that much like, they say about the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, life finds a way. Baby, drag finds a way, mama. Like drag is like, I don't know what it is about us and this art form, but we have shown such resiliency this year, and it's very exciting to me. Things have obviously changed. Things will probably be different for the duration of the rest of our lifetime. But, things will also, come back to some sense of normalcy. And, the only thing that worries me slightly is, I know that we were so lucky this year to be given an escape route from the treachery of the coronavirus and being employed and all of our bars closing. Of course, in the phases of cities reopening, like bars and clubs are the last places to do so for obvious reasons. And there are so many incredible and incredibly hardworking drag queens and nightlife artists that are still struggling and don't have the opportunity that we have. So I just hope that there is a sense of relief, a form of relief, if we don't get right back to normal. Yeah. But baby, drag found a way,
Always does.
Always does.
Well, we can't wait to see how you all find a way post Drag Race. We can't wait to see all of your work going forward, and we can't wait to see you on the show as well. Thank you so much for speaking with us this afternoon, and we've so enjoyed the chance to get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Here's y'all.
Bye.